What if everything we believe about our place in the universe is wrong? What if we've never been alone? What if something has been circling our planet for thousands of years, watching, waiting, and we never knew? Until now. This is the story of a discovery that would change humanity forever. A routine SpaceX mission, an unexpected collision alert, and debris that defies everything we know about history, physics, and our own existence. This is what might happen if SpaceX found something that's been watching us. Let's set the scene. The year is 2027. SpaceX has transformed Starship from an experimental prototype into the most powerful operational rocket ever built, standing 121 meters tall, nearly 400 feet, and capable of lifting over 100 metric tons to low Earth orbit. Starship has become the backbone of humanity's push into space. Satellite deployments, space station resupply, the first steps toward Mars. By this point, SpaceX has completed 18 successful orbital test flights. The technology is proven. The procedures are routine. Flight 19 is designated SN-27. The mission objectives are straightforward. Achieve stable orbit at 400 kilometers altitude. Deploy a batch of next-generation Starlink satellites. Conduct orbital maneuvering tests. Return to Earth via controlled splashdown. Nothing unusual. Nothing unexpected. Launch occurs at 6:47 a.m. Pacific Standard Time from Boca Chica, Texas. First stage separation is flawless. Orbital insertion happens exactly on schedule, 8 minutes and 41 seconds after liftoff. For the next 38 minutes, everything proceeds normally. Satellite deployment is successful. Orbital adjustments are nominal. Engineers in Hawthorne begin preparing for the deorbit burn. And then, at mission elapsed time 47 minutes and 12 seconds, everything changes. Starship's autonomous collision avoidance system, nicknamed Guardian, suddenly triggers a priority alert. There's something directly in the spacecraft's orbital path. Now, this system is designed to track and avoid the thousands of pieces of space junk orbiting Earth, old satellites, rocket fragments, discarded equipment. Guardian monitors all of it using data from the U.S. Space Surveillance Network, combined with SpaceX's own Starlink constellation. But this debris isn't in any database. It doesn't match any known object. It's not supposed to be there. Mission Control faces a split-second decision. The standard procedure would be an avoidance maneuver, adjust trajectory, steer clear, continue the mission. But the flight director sees an opportunity. Starship is equipped with an experimental robotic arm, originally designed for future satellite servicing missions. It's never been used for debris capture, but in theory, it could work. The call is made. Instead of avoiding the debris, they're going to collect it. Over the next 6 minutes, Starship's robotic arm successfully retrieves 3 fragments from the debris field. The pieces are secured in a sealed containment unit, a system originally designed for returning lunar samples to Earth. 3 hours later, Starship completes its deorbit burn and splashes down in the Gulf of Mexico. Recovery teams retrieve the capsule within 90 minutes. The fragments are immediately transported to a secure research facility. And that's when things get strange. The first thing researchers notice is the weight. The largest fragment, roughly the size of a dinner plate, weighs only 340 grams. That's about 12 ounces. For its size, this is impossibly light. The material has a density lower than aluminum, yet preliminary hardness tests show it's stronger than titanium, stronger than any known aerospace alloy. The lead materials scientist runs spectroscopic analysis, a technique that identifies the chemical composition of a substance based on how it interacts with light. The results don't make sense. The material contains common elements, iron, nickel, carbon, but the isotope ratios are wrong. Every element on Earth has a specific isotopic signature. Think of it like a fingerprint. These signatures are created by the unique conditions under which elements form: temperature, pressure, radiation environment. The isotope ratios in these fragments suggest they formed under conditions that don't exist anywhere in our solar system. But the most disturbing discovery is yet to come. Researchers attempt to determine how long the fragments have been in space using cosmogenic nuclide dating, a technique that measures exposure to cosmic radiation over time. The analysis is run 3 times to confirm. The results are always the same. Minimum exposure age, 10,000 years. These fragments have been orbiting Earth since the end of the last ice age. Since before the first human city was built. Since before the invention of writing, agriculture, or the wheel. If the material composition raises questions, the physical structure provides disturbing answers. High-resolution 3D scanning reveals that these aren't random chunks of rock or natural formations. They show clear signs of deliberate construction. The edges have been cut. Not broken, not sheared by impact, cut, with a precision that suggests advanced manufacturing processes. One fragment contains what appear to be mounting points. Small, regularly spaced indentations that match no natural formation pattern. They're clearly designed to attach to something larger. Another fragment shows traces of a surface coating, now mostly eroded by 10,000 years of micrometeorite impacts and radiation exposure, but still detectable. These aren't rocks, they're pieces of something that was built. Engineers attempt to reconstruct what the original object might have looked like. Based on the curvature of the fragments, the positioning of structural elements, and the distribution of the debris field, computer modeling suggests the most likely configuration. A disc-shaped object, approximately 4 to 6 meters in diameter, lightweight, durable, designed to survive millennia in the harsh environment of space. In other words, a craft, a probe, a sentinel, built by intelligent hands. Positioned in orbit around Earth, 10,000 years before humans developed the technology to even look up and wonder what was watching them. Let's pause and consider what a discovery like this would actually mean. If these fragments are what they appear to be, remnants of an artificial craft, constructed from non-terrestrial materials, orbiting Earth for 10,000 years, then several conclusions become unavoidable. First, we are not alone. Intelligent life exists, or existed, somewhere else in the universe. And at some point in the distant past, that intelligence achieved spaceflight, traveled to our solar system, and positioned a monitoring device in orbit around our planet. The Fermi paradox asks, where is everyone? In this scenario, the answer is terrifying in its simplicity. They were here. They've been here. We just never knew. Second, they were watching us before we were us. When this probe entered Earth orbit, humanity existed only as scattered tribes of hunter-gatherers. We hadn't invented agriculture. We hadn't built cities. We hadn't developed writing, mathematics, or science. By any advanced civilization standards, we were primitives, barely distinguishable from the other animals roaming the planet. Yet something chose to watch us. Why? Did they see potential in early humanity? Some spark that marked us as worth monitoring? Or are we simply one of millions of primitive worlds they've cataloged across the galaxy? Third, and perhaps most unsettling, if one probe was here, there may be others, newer ones, more advanced, hidden in orbits we haven't mapped, using materials we can't detect, updated as humanity evolved from cave dwellers to a species reaching for the stars. The fragments we found might be from an older model, version 1, long since replaced by something we haven't found yet, something still watching. Right now, a discovery like this would raise more questions than it answers. Who built this probe? A civilization from a nearby star system? A species from another galaxy entirely? Something beyond our current understanding of physics and reality? Are they still out there? Still monitoring their ancient investment? Or did they vanish millennia ago, leaving only this silent sentinel behind? What happened to the probe? Did it malfunction after 10,000 years of faithful operation? Was it struck by random debris, or was it deliberately destroyed? Perhaps when its operators realized we were getting close to discovering it. And most importantly, what would they do once they learned we found it? Would they make contact, reveal themselves after millennia of silence? Would they send a replacement, more carefully hidden? Or would they decide that a species capable of finding their probe is a species that has become a threat? Of course, this is a what-if scenario. As of today, no such discovery has been announced. No fragments sit in a secure laboratory waiting to rewrite human history. But here's the thing about what-if questions. They have a way of becoming what-now realities. We are sending more spacecraft into orbit every year. Our detection systems are improving. Our reach is extending further into the cosmos. If something is out there, if something has been watching us for 10,000 years, we are closer than ever to finding it. And when we do, the question won't be whether we're alone in the universe. It will be, what do the watchers do when the watched finally look back? If this scenario made you think about what else might be hiding in the darkness above us, you should subscribe. We explore the mysteries of the cosmos, the unknown possibilities of first contact, and the terrifying questions that keep scientists up at night. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep watching the skies, because something might be watching back.